Good evening, everyone. Welcome to yet another webinar by Progressive Professional Forum Kuwait. My name is Shaji Madatil. I will be hosting this webinar. PPF has been conducting a series of webinars on various contemporary topics. Today, we come to you to shed lights on a matter of utmost importance: cybersecurity. In this interconnected world, where information flows freely and technology permeates every aspect of our life, we must understand the significance of safeguarding our digital landscape. In an era where cyber attacks are rampant and growing in sophistication, the need for robust cybersecurity measures cannot be understated. Cybersecurity is a critical challenge that demands our unwavering attention. To give us an insight into the potential risk and proactive measures to protect our digital lives, today we have an expert with us. He is the Group CEO of CyberShelter, Mr. Illyas Kooliyankal. Before we go to the topic, I welcome the General Secretary of Progressive Professional Forum, Shirley Shashi Rajan, to address the audience.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Shirley, you are audible.
Good evening to all. A respected speaker, Mr. Illyas Kooliyankal, panelists, our dear PPF members and friends. It's my pleasure and privilege to address you today. As you all know, Progressive Professional Forum, Kuwait, is a secular collective for channelizing expertise, competence, and social consciousness of professionals from various walks of life. It has entered its 10th year of existence. To commemorate the occasion, we are conducting series of webinars and other programs. We live in a digital age, and most of us present here on mobile phones, computers, and laptops. These devices can turn into a ticking bomb if not protected correctly. The electronic devices can be breached, and sensitive data stored on them can be extracted by individuals or organizations that are engaged in unethical and illegal activities. They can extract data either through direct cyber attacks or by hacking through malwares. These cyber attacks can cause great damage. These days, almost all our tasks are performed online, from paying bills to opening accounts and even working from home. A lot of personal information and passwords are saved in our devices. If not taken care properly, they are vulnerable to being accessed by unauthorized individuals and hackers. So it's a grave issue. What's most crucial is awareness on the issue and the awareness on the solution. Cybersecurity is all about the protection of digital devices and data from outside attacks. Today, we got one of the eminent speakers and the subject expertise on the topic, cybersecurity demystified. On behalf of PPF Kuwait, I welcome Mr. Illyas Kooliyankal, Group CEO, CyberShelter, to the webinar. On behalf of PPF ExCom, I welcome all distinguished audience panelists, including moderator Mr. Shaji Madatil, technical supporters Mr. Shangaram and Kiran, and Advocate Smita to this event. Thank you. Thank you all. Over to you, moderator.
We will now move on to Mr. Shankar Ram for giving us a brief introduction about the speaker of the day. Over to you, Shankar Ram.
Thank you, dear Shaji. I am audible.
Yes, you are audible.
Thank you. Here are Mr. Illyas Kooliyankal, or Illyas to us, to many of us during our college days, is product of Government College of Engineering, Kannur. He has over 27 years of extensive experience in the field of cybersecurity. After the education in Government Engineering College, Kannur, he has attained Masters in Business Administration. He has been selected as CISO, Chief Information Security Officer of the Year award for the Middle East region for various organizations. And he is the advisory board member in the ESAFE, the Emirates Safer Internet Society. And he has undergone training and certifications to our understanding as a Chief Information Security Officer, Cisco, the EC Council. He is a certified project management professional. He is certified in the business continuity from the Business Continuity Institute, certified in the Risk and Information System Control series, certified in the governance of enterprise, also in the information systems auditor as well as information systems manager. He's also certified as the information system security professional, CSIS. He is also a lead auditor in the information security management systems as per the ISO 27001. He is also expert in the information technology infrastructure library, the ITIL, the V3 expert. In his previous role, he served as the group CISO of the Abu Dhabi Islam Bank, where he successfully executed the transformation program extending over 3 years that strengthened the bank's cybersecurity capabilities. He has also spearheaded the cybersecurity transformations in various organizations, including Etisalat and Abu Dhabi Securities Exchange. Thank you, dear Illyas, for accepting our invitation and consenting for this webinar session on the topic of cybersecurity. Hope all of those attending today will be made well aware of one of the most relevant matters of interest to us. Over to you, moderator. Yashaji.
Thank you, Shankar Ram. Let's now move on to the speaker of the day. Welcome, Mr. Illyas. The screen is yours.
Good evening, all. Thank you so much for the invite, PPF, and all those who are attending this session as part of my services to the community and to the industry, and my passion to speak on cybersecurity to as many people as possible. This is a great opportunity, and thank you and taking this initiative, PPF, office bearers, and especially Mr. Shankar, who was my colleague or my college mate in Kannur Engineering College, and to invite me for this great opportunity. I'll just share my screen. Just give me a second, please. Hope you can all of you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
We can see the screen.
So cybersecurity demystified is as a title which very it's a favorite title for me, because cybersecurity, people are consider it as a very complicated topic, and people stay away from it. But now the world has changed. The digital adoption has been so much that any walk of our life, cyber and cybersecurity is a key factor. So how to make it simple, how to make it understandable for anyone who are not specialized in technology and security. That's something which is my kind of aim and objective, and I'm going to try to do that today also. But now the audience here, I would expect, or what I was told to understand is that you are all, most of you are coming from professional background. So I have a challenge of making sure I convey that how to apply cybersecurity measures, or how to at least think about cybersecurity in your organizational environment, and at the same time, what you have to do in terms of your personal life. Because the way cyber is moving, it could impact our life, our future generation, our safety. Everything is connected now, and cyber attack could be damaging those. So now, why we have to be, or who has to worry about cyber attacks? If you see the recent attacks in the region, if you just recollect the attack in one of the big hospital chain in India, I think it was in the news, so I'm not disclosing anything confidential here. The AIMS was under attack, and there were a lot of information was exposed, which was very sensitive in terms of the patients who were there. Now, that kind of an attack could be even leading to, now it could be a regulatory, or it could be a reputational damage to hospitals or hospital group of hospitals or other organization. But in the future, or even currently, the way digital adoption is, could be even there are medical equipments or medical instruments that could be put in our body, that could be even attacked through cyber world or cyber channels that can impact safety of people. Now, home automation or hospital equipments or any other equipments, even the OT. So some of you may be working in the oil or utility sector. All of these equipments, all of these instruments, the SCADA system, the supervisory control system, all are connected now, and there is an internet connectivity, or at least a digital connectivity, which expose those also to cyber attacks. And the impact of a traffic system getting hacked, an oil refinery getting attacked, or a nuclear power plant getting attacked, that can have a huge impact in terms of people's safety itself. So how important cybersecurity is now, require no further explanation. So what could be the motives of cyber attacks or cybersecurity, breaches? So as you can see in this screen, the threat actors could be not only external, it could be an internal employees. So we say always cyber attacks as an external thing, or cybersecurity as an external thing. Cybersecurity and information security, there are terms also being always kind of used interchangeably, although there are little difference. But so now information security, if we take, again, information is the key aspect there. Now, that could be the most important asset of any organization or even a country. I mean, the information about people, you might have heard about a lot of, this personal information leakage or misuse of this personal information by various organizations. So now that information is the most important asset, and that could be breached by an internal employee if you're in a leadership role in an organization, or if you have your own organization. How critical your customer information, how critical your salary information. I mean, lot of sensitive information will be there. That could be accessed or misused by employees or malicious insiders, or it could be exfiltrated or attacked and taken out, or stolen or manipulated by external hackers. Or it could be based on certain political agenda or political principles. I mean, like now recent attacks now we are seeing in the region. I mean, there are hacktivists, which is activist in cyber world called hacktivist. They may have to prove certain point they are using cyber. Now, if you see the criminals, and especially during the last COVID period, we all was seeing that the criminals who were in the physical world also move to the digital world. Because when we move, most of the people are moving to cyber world. The criminals also will be thinking that, why I'm wasting time in the physical world? It's better, more return on investment, more money on the cyber world. So they move to the cyber world. So organized criminals, there are many gangs and terror groups obviously are using cyber world, nation state to show, to demonstrate the power. And even if you see the recent wars, the start of the war was cyber. Initially, it started with cyber and then become a physical war. So now, some of this internal issues could be because of employee mistakes, which could be leading to big cyber or data breaches that can put your organization. So if you're running an organization or in a leadership role, some of these regulatory issues or legal issues or even customer could be put you in trouble if we don't take necessary measures to ensure the protection of information what we hold, which could be our customer information or partner information and other stakeholder information. And how the fraud and security getting into a common place now, what we are seeing is most of the frauds happening these days are having a digital footprint or digital connection or cyber or information security breaches. Now, we may be getting a lot of these phishing calls or wishing calls, you can say, or phishing emails, and then taking that information or stealing information and misusing that information to conduct transactions or fraudulent transactions or any other manipulation. The origin is actually lack of proper information security controls in organization, including banks or including other entities, because our information may be, we are sharing that information, including our passport copies or IDs and many mobile numbers and email addresses to many different places for a purpose or not for purpose. Those information could be misused by, the bad guys to get more and more information, which could be leading to, potential frauds and loss of money. So the statistics, I don't want to take a lot of time in this, but in general, the increase in the losses associated with cyber attacks or data breaches are increasing day by day. I just wanted to show some of the real kind of attacks happening in the world. I'll take it in the maybe at the end of it, just to make sure time is safe. What is happening in the world currently? I mean, in terms of cyber attacks, there are some of this links can give you. It's a free accessible link to see where are the attacks happening. It's not theory anymore. What is happening in the world? You could have a quick look. So now the solution for all of these cyber attacks, if we think about technology, I mean, it's only is it a magical solution that exists? No. I mean, for individuals or organizations, not by having a security tool or security software on your phone or your laptop, and in the organization buying a firewall or buying any security solutions only won't solve the problem. The problem has to be addressed in a holistic manner. We need to have right processes in organization, or even personally also, we may need to follow certain better practices in our personal life and certain attentive mindset. Because even if we are security aware, even if you are aware about a lot of things, you can still make mistake when you are under pressure, when you are under, doing many things in parallel. So how to manage those people, process, and having the right awareness of what is right, what is wrong, and how to handle situations. These three aspects, so technology, process, and people, are important in handling, security, cybersecurity risk. So now many smaller organization, what I'm seeing as now, as Shankar introduced, I was actually a cybersecurity head in a bank and working on many organizations in the past. And now I moved to the entrepreneurship and I founded this company. So what I'm seeing is many smaller organizations are not putting that effort in security because they're thinking it is very costly. And their, the objective is to revenue and more customers and making business, and security when it comes we can handle, because they think that the security initiatives or security solutions are expensive, by seeing a lot of existing way of doing things. So this is actually some of the areas what we as CyberShelter trying to address to provide cost-effective solutions to smaller and medium size organizations. So how cost-effectively to do it should be our objective, but not ignoring cybersecurity or because without buying even solution, without engaging an external consultant itself, you can do a lot of things in your organization. Even if it is a smaller organization, 1 member or 3 member or 5 member organization, or even a non-profit organization, you may have, for example, PPF. You may have a lot of information about your members. I mean, so how to make sure that this information is protected? Those can be done without even spending a lot of money. It's a matter of putting the right thinking to make sure there are right processes and right procedures in place in the organization. So it should be, in security, when we approach, it has to be more or less more cost effective. And we need to make sure that the security controls what we implement doesn't impact our customer experience. So how to make sure, those customized solutions or customized approach in your cybersecurity program is very important. So now, as I mentioned earlier, why security issues are increasing? Obviously, as we know, I mean, the technology dependency, the information dependency is increasing day by day. When I was in Kannur Engineering College, I was not able to even touch a computer. And now, the students in colleges are coming out with AI and cyber and information, technology related knowledge and expertise, and the use of information and technology for our day-to-day life, including all sectors of life. I was talking yesterday to someone who was actually applying technology in agriculture field, and they're building some innovative solutions, and he wanted to build cybersecurity in his solution. So, I mean, the way security or cyber or technology came into our life, including what we have seen now during COVID. I mean, everything was online, even students, schools, universities, all the aspects were online, means the risk associated, the chances of something goes wrong is increasing. And so unless we have a right measures and building the right way, I mean, or the technology or the solution, we may always have the challenges from security risk. So now technology advancement, as you can see, the dependency on internet, the augmented reality, the social media, what we are using, cloud and IoT, AI, everything, now blockchain, robotics, all of this are actually leading us to more and more concerns on cybersecurity risk. So it could be, the future could be like, there could be cyber wars, which is not even future, it is already happening, and misuse of identities. Now AI based, you must have heard about ChatGPT. So how all ChatGPT can be used is that someone can create an attack by just asking the ChatGPT on how can I attack certain organization or certain people, and you just give a bit more information, it will give you, or you just manipulate the questions, it could give even a code to create malware through those AI engines. So the future is actually, I just want to show that, I mean, this is being predicted. I mean, even Elon Musk and many others predicted that the future will be AI-based attacks, and it could be even machine attack. It may be no people behind. So just if you imagine, if you follow, I don't have enough time here. If you follow AI, what is happening in artificial intelligence. So the AI can be used to put names of people or names of organizations and understand the weaknesses or vulnerabilities of them, or they put somebody's name and then just use that AI engine. It can find out your online presence from everywhere, the what you're actually searching in Google, what you're posting on the social media, and it can analyze your interest, your weakness, and this can be done in bulk, in volume. And that AI engine could send emails or attacks targeting the vulnerabilities of those individuals or the organizations. And there will be more kind of chances of success, because if I was searching for a car just maybe 5 minutes back, and there is an attack or there is an email coming, with specific details of that search, what I was doing, and some links, then there is a chance that I will be clicking that link because I will think that it is coming because of those search, or maybe because I inquired about that car. Then I may be clicking that link more. The chances of clicking that link is more. So that kind of a customized attack can be launched against individuals, against organizations, against countries, based on what is the weaknesses of them, or what are the vulnerabilities associated with them. And especially this can be launched because of the AI's capability and the volume it can generate. It can be done within seconds or minutes. It can generate thousands and millions of emails or attacks in no time. Just imagine that capabilities are being built by the bad guys, or even the nation state. Then without even having people, it can be like a war between different countries, different groups. So that is what the cybersecurity risk is going, that is the direction, and that is not too far. So how we as cybersecurity experts are trying to do is what we can use, how or what is the best way to protect or defend by using AI technologies. But as always, the bad guys will be a little bit advanced because they are very focused, and it is a matter of how much capability they have, how much power they have, who is actually behind that, and what is their intention, or what is the persistence. So, and the attacks can be based on what is that persistence. So now this is actually history, 1990s, where when I was in college, we had like viruses and antiviruses, and then it grown into different generation of technology. Network started, applications. Then similarly, if you see the antivirus, firewalls, intrusion prevention, APT prevention, these are the technological terms you don't have to know, but I'm just want to show the way it evolved, the generation of technology and the generation of cyber attacks and the generation of cyber security solutions or measures. Obviously, we always believe in fundamentals. We need to have the foundation strong, but then the cyber security solutions also has to be updated or upgraded to handle those kind of attacks. So now the AI based attacks are real serious issues, and I'm still as a thought kind of person, I still think that many organizations, many countries are not yet understood the scale of AI based attack that is going to happen, because the last few months only ChatGPT brought a huge change in the way people are thinking and the way of commoditizing AI, because it was like a little bit of a difficult term or a complex term till last year. For example, this year beginning, when ChatGPT came, I can see hundreds of AI based applications and softwares are coming in the industry. If you are in any of the social media, or if you are using any kind of online channels, you will see that's everything. There is an AI tool now. So how that can be misused, the technology will be the challenge of our future. Now, cyber security risk, this is just to show that, it could be a normal cyber crime, which is an online, offline crime, like a normal frauds and, individuals being defrauded and money getting lost, to a war, cyber war. So it's all depends upon, how frequent it is and the consequence. If you see the X and Y axis, you can see, the consequence of a cyber war could be, a nation, like I know, I cannot mention a country near US are completely, crumbling because of cyber attacks. And they were asked, actually, I was contacted through one of my contact for help in building their cybersecurity measures, because they did not have anything. And the whole country was, crippling with ransomware attacks, and their transportation system, the traffic system, and everything. Every day there is some attack. So they're completely, clueless. And that is, the country did not have enough proper strategy in terms of technology or security. So that is the kind of level it can go. And now if you just get some chance, if you can read about Estonia was a country who were under cyber attack, literally every day, and they were completely, again, crippled. Now they have actually built a lot of measures, and they are actually leading in their cybersecurity as a country. But this can completely, kind of damage the country's existence in terms of, because of the dependency on technology on all of this national critical infrastructure. So sometimes it could be, nation state attacks, and, those activists could be, the objective could be a propaganda. It could be a denial of service. You damage, again, I cannot refer, but some of the news you might have read some time back, there were fuel supply was, blocked in certain countries, and certain pipeline, the oil pipeline got, damaged with cyber attacks. So these are actually touching lives and touching, safety of people in many places. So this is actually what I was trying to tell earlier. The AI could be weaponized. It could be the next tank, or nuclear, war equipment in the future. So it could be machine attack in the coming, years, because the way it is advancing now, the speed or the pace it got now is actually alarming. And that is why even some of the big names in the industry was actually warning, AI research should be controlled or stopped, because it can lead to, bigger damages across the world. So now, why cyber attacks or cyber risks are still, because you might have seen, or I am seeing, that we are spending a lot of money, a lot of effort, and a lot of experts are coming. Because when I start cybersecurity career, I was some of the few in UAE, because I just came and I was lucky to be in the internet section in Etisalat. So I had the chance to see, internet growing, and then security also, I started to learn. But now there are a lot of security experts, a lot of security solutions, a lot of investment in security, but still we are seeing a lot of breaches. The breaches, the scale, the percentage, and the relative increase in cyber attacks is increasing only. So why this is happening? Many of the reasons are there, but some of them can be seen as, the internet itself is actually developed not with security in mind. It was developed just like, to connect people. So that time security risk and stuff was not in mind. So the coding, the software that was developed, the basic protocols that is being used are not having the right security. And now if you see, like the olden times, we had a phone, we had a telephone. It can do only telephone. You can make calls and, disconnect calls. That's it. There's a voice communication only. But the way now mobile phone is evolved, you can do everything with a mobile phone. I can work without a laptop with just a phone. A small phone has not only a feature for making call, but it has so many features which I don't know even. So now I had some preliminary questions that, how to secure the phone. I myself is searching how to secure my phone, because there are so many things which you don't know. I mean, when there is an update happening from, Apple or Android, what is the changes happening in the phone itself is a challenge. So that kind of complexity and the connectivity. Now, there is a field of security which is called API, application program interface, because now phones can be connected to many things, different application, different system, different solutions, different public or, critical national infrastructure are connected. All of that brings value, brings more features, helps us to be more efficient. But at the same time, those connectivity brings more security challenges. When you connect to something, then you will be, exposed to the connected party also. Many of the cyber attacks, what you must be seeing in the news, are actually, the origin will be somewhere else, because that was connected to the victim organization. That impact came to, this organization also. So that connectivity, internet connectivity or interconnectivity, all of them are actually some of the reason for why cyber risks are increasing. Yeah, this is again, I'm not going in detail because these are, maybe interesting for some of the people who are in technology field or some of the executives who are or entrepreneurs. But how to transform your cybersecurity in your organization. This is again not applicable specifically to individuals who are attending for how to secure your phone or how to secure your family. But this is actually applicable for an organization. Here, now you don't know where to start and how to start, what to do. I mean, who to look. So the best way to approach security in your organization, if you did not do much, or if you're doing, bits and pieces ad hoc, you're buying some security solutions or antivirus or endpoint security or firewalls, is to assess your current state, do some benchmarking with the industry and based on your applicable regulations and applicable risk. And then you have a proper strategic transformation program with right initiatives to take you to a better secure posture, where you will not be able to manage all the risk. You cannot eliminate everything, but at the same time, at least something goes wrong, there is something goes wrong, and what to do and how to handle it. So that approach is like a cybersecurity transformation is something which you could think about to do it in a cost-effective manner if you are not a big organization. But if you're a bigger organization, I would say get help from someone to do that current state assessment and put a transformation program by leveraging your existing investment in security, at the same time improving the processes, improving the awareness, and also maybe fix certain things by buying or implementing some security solutions. So what are the key areas? You need to have cybersecurity strategy, policies, processes. As I mentioned, you have to have monitoring, 24/7 monitoring if you're a very online, and a lot of sensitive information are there in your organization. Similarly, you have to make sure the access, and that is applicable for your personal or in organization, who has access to what and who has the right to do what. All of that access related, data related visibility is extremely important for any organization, and also in many cases the individuals also. Like if you have a Google Drive, you need to make sure that your Google Drive can be accessed by you only. Sometimes you might have shared to someone else and then you forgot to revoke, and then you may be posting some of your sensitive information there. So you have to have that information. Similarly, we will come to one of the area like WhatsApp. Now you have WhatsApp, and then you must be having a web WhatsApp connection, and then there are many others maybe having access to your WhatsApp without you being knowing. because it can be accessed now from anywhere, even if the phone is not nearby. So all of that, quickly we will touch upon that personal part. So the organization part I quickly covered now till now. Now just few slides I have related to what as an individual, as a person, you can take care of your personal security or social media security. So all the social media has a lot of security measures, but as a nature of making more and more people connected, social media companies keep it very open by default. So you will be thinking why these guys did not do this setting so that somebody else cannot see my friend list. Because for example, in Facebook, your friend list can be seen by anybody else who are connected to you by default. And that is actually a risk, because somebody who you connected may be a fake profile who is actually an extortion guy, a fraudster, and then they will be able to see all your connection, which they can create a fake account and then get connected to them. And I think you must have seen that fake profiles being asking money with your contacts. And that is being actually because of we did not configure our Facebook setting properly, and Facebook doesn't by default configure it right. So they expose your contacts to all your contacts, and you may be having thousands of contacts. Not everyone is a genuine person. There may be a fake person, and they take your all contacts, create a fake account, and they will allow Facebook and all the social media allow to create as many fake account or even change name to your own name, and then contacts your contacts and ask for money and misuse many cases. So now in social media security, there are some of these fundamental features, like we say information disclosure should be minimal. We have to make sure, we have to look at, or even if you Google, you will find what are the security and privacy measures that can be taken, and what are the where you have to go to do that setting. I mean, I have that in the slide, but I don't think I will have time to go through that. And email, now if you're using social media, better to avoid using your main email ID for the social media use. So it's better you have a separate email ID. And also similarly passwords, because when I was working in the bank earlier, when we assessed in the dark web, there is a place called hackers hanging around in dark web, where they communicate and they interact, which is not accessible for common man. So we find that a lot of email addresses and passwords were there for that particular organization. So we were just investigating, and we found that these are not leaked from the organization, but there was a Yahoo hack many years back, and the staff were using their official email ID, and some of them even the password they are using in the office for Yahoo. So that hack actually disclosed those email addresses and passwords, and that is being actually, the hackers could be using that to try to attack the organization also. So it is better always to use separate password. Don't use the same password. I know passwords are a real nightmare to remember so many passwords, and there are passwordless authentication coming nowadays. If you see Google and many of the social media, it actually enable you by not having a password, or just help you to reset with certain other measures. Now, some of the things which you have to taken care when you are using social media is that and even email, as you might have already heard from many people, that don't click anything and everything what you are getting by email. Now, what I am seeing in the market, and especially in our community, is that people believe and people react so quickly, although we may be knowing that okay, there are phishing emails and fake emails, fraud emails coming, and messages coming, WhatsApp coming, but sometimes it's so genuine looking, and some of the I don't know in Kuwait how is it, but in UAE, some of the courier companies and postal companies, exact same fake email comes, fake messages come, SMS comes. Even I sometimes, because I was waiting for a courier, and then I got a message, SMS from from a courier company. Then I have a chance to click it, and I don't know how. There's no AI use. I believe there's no AI usage there, but at least these are very common people's area where those kind of SMS or those kind of message comes, email comes. There is a chance, but unless we have that mindset and habit of not believing everything on the first time, keep it for tomorrow, and then you think about assess it, before you click anything, unless it is so very sure. We should not be clicking links. We should not be clicking links on WhatsApp, SMS, email, or any other channels. And also sharing information. Now, some of the cases when I was in the bank, I was seeing that, and I had a real case. One of my friend, I used to post security awareness message in my Facebook and Instagram. And one of my friend actually saw that message. I was actually talking about banking related fraud happening. People are calling and, are sending OTP and taking the OTP and doing these transactions and all. And his wife got a similar message and a call from a fraudster. And by the time he was talking, she gave that OTP, and then the guy actually took the money. It's like a cardless cash transaction. By just giving a code, people can withdraw money. So that guy, the fraudster, was able to get that code from her by convincing her that he is calling from the bank. So how it happened? Because she actually went to the bank's social media page and she put a comment that then she put a comment on the bank's social media page. I contacted you for my personal loan and nobody responded and all in the comment section of the social, the bank's social media page. And this guy actually saw that, and so it was on Facebook, and her profile actually had her phone number, which is public. Anybody can see her phone number on the Facebook profile. The guy actually saw her message and got the phone number, called her and told that, okay, I'm calling from bank, you have a problem in your loan. So, let me help you. Just sending you an OTP in your mobile. Please share that OTP. And then she believed that, because she thought it is from the bank. She has been convinced by giving away. So that is the way these guys are smart. So we have to be knowing that what information we are sharing. And again, it is not very easy. I mean, like, our life is having so many things, but only one fact we have to be kept in mind practically, because everyone, including me, can fall into this one of the day, because it's about how much convincing it could be. So now, example, now Shangaram was communicating with me for last many days, and now Shangaram's WhatsApp is hacked, and tomorrow Shangaram say, Illyas, or yesterday Shangaram is communicating to me and saying that, Illyas, we were talking about this PPF event. Can you please click this link to ensure that you will be available tomorrow? So I will be clicking that link. So if it will be so genuine. So this is what happening now. Some of the cases and financial frauds happen is that the other party, and one of my relative had a big loss around 500,000. He did not tell me. He told me very late, so I could not help him. So he said he is actually doing spare parts business in Dubai, and he normally deals with a lot of African nations and a lot of things they buy and sell to African nations. And one of the time there was a communication happening about some procurement, and they were communicating with that particular vendor, and the communication reached a stage that my cousin supposed to transfer the money to them in advance for some shipment, and that time that other guy's Yahoo or some email got hacked. Actually, it was hacked before itself. We did not know. And the guy actually was seeing all the communication happening from this particular spare parts company and with that particular vendor. And these guys were watching, and it all went very smooth. Last stage, he changed his that particular vendor's password, Yahoo password. He created a similar email address, a fake email address, and started communicating to my cousin with that all chain of email which was communicated before also. On top of it, he said, okay, I wanted you to transfer the money to this account. So there was a fake account being given, and this guy actually thought, okay, he was communicating, and now he is giving another account. He transferred the fund, and it has just disappeared. That 500,000 is gone. So now, how to handle that? There's no technical solution to handle such a situation. So only thing is that you need to have multiple checks and back, there has to be, even if maybe bigger organization has a lot of approvals before payment, and there may be check and balance, and maker and checker and all. But in smaller organization, maybe the finance or accounts department doesn't have that process. So we need to make sure that there are proper process, offline verification for this email or online only transaction should be revalidated with some kind of an offline mechanism or some other measures, so that you don't completely expose yourself with one failure of one accountant or one person or one kind of channel. So that is an example I wanted to convey, because there are many similar incidents happening. And I'm reading, when I'm hearing, when my friends calls, I keep educating on my social media, but still people are falling into that. And similarly now, ransomware is another major attack, because any organization, small or big or any individuals, our information maybe in our machines or servers or any other places, now one email coming and you act in a hurry, clicking that can completely kill your business, completely encrypt your data, and that can kill a small organization, an individual based organization, or a bigger organization by encrypting, asking for ransom. And this is being increased thousands and thousands percentage nowadays. And if you ask me how to recover, mostly there is no recovery unless there is a key. Sometimes Interpol and others actually run behind these ransomware groups. They get these keys. I mean, this is called passwords or keys for decryption. It is very difficult to decrypt. There are some very rare chances you can recover, but otherwise you have to have proper backup. That backup may have to be even offline, because even if you have a backup and that is like online backing up every day, that virus also could go to that backup, and then that also will maybe not recoverable. Then there are now new solutions for that backup solution, which is ransomware resilient solutions and all. So this kind of attacks, proactive measures on the only way. Most of the time you have to have proper security measures or backup, offline backup, or based on what is the risk you want to accept, what is the risk you want to mitigate. And that depends upon, like, for example, maybe in some cases, it may be taking a monthly backup offline and keep it outside, disconnect from the network, because if it is online, it can get corrupted with the virus or with the ransomware anytime. So you may want to at least go back to 1 month back old data, in the worst case. But otherwise, you have to see how to handle this ransom, because the ransomware can hit anybody and everybody, because it is so easy to anybody, they may, because I was telling you, artificial intelligence, using artificial intelligence to send a phishing email or spam mails. It can send millions of mails in seconds with ransomware attached, and out of million, 100 or 1,000 clicking and getting encrypted and getting the money, their return on investment for the hackers is very high. So this is actually very easy to execute, very easy to modify and change. So this is going to be increasing day by day. And that is why security measures and awareness process, at least basic security practices are important for each and everyone. WhatsApp security, again, we don't have much time. I may take 2 minutes more to wind up. gentleman here. WhatsApp has a lot of security features now, including you can enable PIN. So even if it get hacked or breach, because WhatsApp hack is very common these days, is that someone cannot set up your WhatsApp on their phone unless the PIN is known. So you have to set up that PIN and two-factor authentication in WhatsApp. Again, I have that screenshot, but I don't have time now to show. And WhatsApp web, the linked accounts is a very, very, very critical one. You have to make sure that what and who are connected there, because sometimes someone can take your phone and you were not attending, and someone can actually scan that QR code on their web or on their phone. WhatsApp, multiple WhatsApp can be set up on a phone. Someone can just scan your QR code and have a copy of WhatsApp on somebody else's phone and somebody else web browser. So you have to look at your WhatsApp setting called linked accounts. What are those linked accounts? You may have to reset that if you don't know those, and then you make sure that you connect only to your laptop or your own other phone only, because otherwise they can see everything what you're doing, everything you're communicating. So there's a privacy issue, there is a security issue, if you don't set up properly. So one more, again, last slides. One more thing is that passwords are in organizations or individuals having single password. That password breaking itself can completely kill you. I mean, there are a lot of softwares, a lot of tools available online and offline, which can get the password. So enable two-factor authentication, which could be linked to your phone or email. We're getting a code or getting an approve, reject, confirm on your phone. Make sure that is enabled for all your online. And even if you're working for an organization, your organization should be not having any services online to the internet exposed without two-factor authentication. If somebody can access with the password only from outside, just wait for that get hacked. So any hacking, if it is single password only, it is a big risk. So you have to enable two-factor authentication for any services externally exposed from organization. And similarly, any services you are using online, including banks or social media or anything, you have to enable two-factor authentication. You have to have, so antivirus is a very, very preliminary name. You have to have endpoint security solutions on your laptops. You have to spend money. Don't use the freewares and somebody hacked version of the antivirus or endpoint security. Spend at least 50 or 100 dirhams or riyals or Kuwait dinars. You have to buy that. I mean, endpoint security solutions, including ransomware protection solutions, are there. You have to have that. You have to pay and make sure you renew it continuously. That is important. Basic security. Ensure, especially you have data, ensure that you have proper backup process, in the sense, even if it's company or individuals, have some place where you can go back in the worst case. So that backup has to be there. Update the softwares timely. Security settings available. Make sure these are being set properly. The right security features, especially banks and all, or banking accounts and mobile apps. All of them, there are security features. The problem is many of these guys actually don't do it by default enable. They will put it on the customers or the users. So you have to be knowing that they don't have that much interest to you on your security as you. So we have to make sure that those features are enabled, and avoid suspicious applications, because there are mobile apps that can overlay on your original mobile app of your bank. And when you're typing the card number and username, account number, they can take that and send it to the hacker. So I have seen cases like that, where the phone was compromised and even the OTPs coming to the phone was actually getting sent to the fraudster. So the phone was having some, malicious app that was capturing everything, including your SMS, OTP, including your WhatsApp message, everything was sending to the hacker. So there are applications like that. So you have to make sure that There are measures taken to, detect, prevent those. Again, basic hygiene is important. So this is the last slide. How and what, as I mentioned, nobody can have 100% risk eliminated. Risk is always there in our life. When we walk across the road, we may get hit by a car, and but still we walk. So that is actually the risk we know, and we walk because we have to get things done. You cannot stop digital technology, cyber, because of there is cyber risk, cyber attacks. So we need to understand that risk is always there in any walk of our life. It is about how we manage, and how we manage is, now when we walk across the road, how we manage is that we be vigilant. We look around, we properly walk, and we try to cross through the, the zebra line, or if there is no cars coming, and so there are measures we take. And when we drive the car, where there is brake, there is steering, there is every control is there, but still there could be an accident. And how we manage it by looking around, we make sure that if somebody else coming wrong and then hitting us, all of that measures are important. How to be having that habit of being vigilant, being, careful, and not being over careful and paranoid, and then don't use social media, no profile, no Facebook, nothing. No, I am actually on social media everywhere. I'm in LinkedIn, I'm in Facebook, I'm in Instagram, everywhere I'm there. And if there are, I saw some security guys not there. I mean, that is being paranoid. I mean, I have to use this media, but at the same time, I have to understand what is the risk, and I have to manage the risk. So we have to leverage the technology. We have to leverage the information. We have to leverage the beauty of AI and beauty of technology that is coming in the right way. But we have to make sure the security measures are there, security controls are there. Most importantly, we are vigilant. We are actually taking that alertness in as part of our habit. We cannot, add that to us, but it is being self-resilient, self-control, being alert, so that anything comes, any email comes, any calls comes, any messages comes, anything requested, you don't just jump into and give it or click or send some information without being assessing that impact, without being. So you have to balance these things and make sure that we, being more, what you call smart in handling those. So that discuss, maybe sometimes talk, do some research, Google. Now, if you're getting some email, just Google it. You may find that, okay, this is someone already fell into this kind of fraud. If you just get spam or scams, you just search on Google, you will find that there was many people fell into that scam. You will find out that. So before that, you click the link, then you're gone. So this is the, importance of being alert. This is what importance of segregating personal and official one. And also, there are many cases people get into panic mode and then they react. So some of the cases I got, some of the complaints I got is, this fake, I have to be very open here. There are very common problem. What we are seeing here is sextortion. There are actually fake profiles in Facebook and Instagram and different places with ladies' names, and they connect with people, and then they engage in discussion, and then they pull them into video-based chats. And then, these guys are actually, this may be not even female. They may be the fraudsters who are putting videos, in this video kind of chat solutions, and then faking, and then they take some screenshot and then threaten them, because then they threaten them with the contacts list, because your contact is already exposed to everyone. Anybody you connected can see your contacts, and they say, I will send it to your contacts. So if you don't pay this much. So this is being happening. So we have to be careful in who are our contacts. You have to be making sure contacts are genuine, non-people. If it's unknown people, are they genuine? How there are actually some kind of a smartness we need to apply to make sure that these are being checked and validated properly. Again, if there is somebody fell into that, you have to make sure that there is no further communication, because once you start engaging with these guys, then there will be more and more threats and blackmails, and then some of the guys actually call me and say, I'm the guy is actually in a situation he want to suicide because he's afraid that this guy is going to expose his private communication to his friends and family, and then he's communicating with these guys and engaging. See, what they are actually going to use is that communication, that fear factor to convert into money. So then the best thing is to stop communicating, report to police or report to your friends, making sure that you don't engage in that. And when you don't engage with them in further communication, they go away to the next victim. So this is actually very important because because I'm seeing it many cases in the region and even outside also. But there are gangs sitting in different countries, operating in this mode. So that is something very kind of you may have to convey to your family and friends also, because you don't know who are falling into that, and they may not be able to talk to you or talk to others in those cases. That's it from my side. I just took probably 10 minutes more or 11 minutes more than allocated time, Shankar and team. Thank you so much for listening to me. I hope I gave some thoughts, because in a session like this, I cannot train or I cannot educate. I can give only thoughts. And now it's your chance to do your kind of research and study and analyze whichever interesting areas. And I think we have some question answer session now. I just pass the mic to the moderator. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Illyas, for sharing the important aspects of cybersecurity. You have in fact revealed a very scary picture in front of us, showing us the magnitude, the scale of risk, cyber risk we are exposed to. We now know how vulnerable we are. And it is really shocking when you said the AI could even lead to the end of human race. However, the tips you gave us today were very useful indeed. Now we have received some questions from the audience. We will go to those questions. There is a question from Sashi Rajan. Please explain how one single OTP wipe out bank balance and how to prevent it.
So, see, one OTP completely wiping out bank balance depends upon the case. I mean, it's not every case, okay? But at least some money could go, because banks, many of the banks are depending on OTP as something someone has, like, OTP will be coming to the phone. Phone is with someone, like, I have a phone, it is with me. So it is an authentication factor that I am the person who is doing that transaction. So they're depending on OTP. But in general, now in UAE and all, the central bank regulation says that OTP should be, kind of discontinued. There should be better measures. So now there is facial recognition systems are introducing into the banks for, transactions and all. So like the bank I'm now using for my account, so they verify my face, and it is getting validated by the backend facial system of the country. They have actually facial kind of database in the country. When we are coming in the airport and all, they're storing it, and that there is a backend connection, which I was in my previous bank also. I've implemented that, where we connect to that facial recognition system so that customer can be onboarded as a customer and transact through facial recognition. But OTP, the problem, as I mentioned earlier, there could be a malware sitting in your phone, which could be taking the OTP and sending, or a fraudster calls and defraud the customer and take the OTP, then getting it put into the phone for transaction, because that is actually a convenience. Or because banks and other organizations always look at customer experience and security. So there is a more kind of inclinedness to customer experience, because if we get a lot of complicated process to do a transaction, we tend to have a normal customer behavior is we go to another bank where it is easy, they can do a quick transaction. So this is why banks are actually now balancing this. But at the same time, as a security professional or as a security practitioner, I would love to go to a bank who is more, giving importance to security and better security than, weak security to make customer happy for doing the transaction. Because as the question mentioned, a single OTP, taking out all the money is a disaster, and we always have to have that risk managed. So, but there are chances of, fund getting drained by just OTP. This is why actually, although now I can say openly, banks and institutions should be having better control. I agree with him, the question, that should be having better control than, losing the whole customer money just by an OTP. There has to be better control. And this is actually the approach by institutions.
Okay, we will go to the next question. It's from Muhammad Sulaiman. How to transform culture of cybersecurity in an organization?
Yeah, so I think that is a very interesting area for me also. Now, as we mentioned here, sometimes organizations do namesake security awareness training. They conduct sessions. There may be some organizations that are online training. Some of the employees may do it. Some of them make somebody else to do that awareness trainings for the sake of, getting it done. So that's what I have seen in many organizations. So cultural change will happen if there are proper program, security awareness program, understanding the culture of the people. What is the best way to transform somebody in a behavioral way? So rather than just giving training, it should be customized to their activities and responsible. Like, for example, a normal person who doesn't have even computer, and then you're not making them aware. When the security guards, they need to be aware in security in a way they can understand. And a technology person, an IT person, has to understand security in a way they can understand and they can correlate. So what I was doing actually as an example is that I have, and which is, we are also now a partner of that solution. We have a solution we have implemented that will understand. They have a security awareness training modules, videos and all. Plus it will understand how the person attended the training. They actually spend some time on reading and watching the videos. And also it connects to your security solutions in the company. And it will see, okay, this person, okay, he attended security training about phishing emails. But when it comes actual phishing, is clicking, or phishing simulation tests. Now, some companies do the phishing simulation, like they simulate this fraud emails, and whether he is clicking or not clicking, those will help him to do a risk profiling of the employee. And based on that, that person may be actually good in reading, but so it will understand the behavior of a person. So, and it will customize the training based on that behavior, and it will help to improve him. Because it's not about sometimes security awareness only. Maybe the person is aware, but he doesn't want to follow. And sometimes the person is aware, but when he's under pressure, he may make mistakes. So we have to understand the reason for someone making a mistake in an organization and customize the training. And overall, you have to have a measurement also. You have to see how the culture is improving by looking at how many incidents because of someone's mistake. And when you start, you have to measure, and then you may gradually measure how is it improving that culture of the employees in the organization. So that is actually a security awareness program. Culture change is a very, very interesting and important concept, because many or most organizations are doing security awareness for the sake of it. It doesn't make that cultural change. So this is why actually it is important to have a proper tailored approach in security awareness.
Okay, we will go to the next question. This one is not really a question. Mr. Manjit would like to know the relevance of cybersecurity in oil and gas industry. I know you have already addressed this in the talk. However, I hope you can go a bit more into the details because most of us here are working in oil and gas.
That is excellent. So that is OT security or operation technology security is a very important topic. You all might have read about Aramco incident a few years back or many years back. Around 26,000 or 36,000 computers got wiped because of a ransomware incident. And not only that, now last year there were like multiple incidents where oil pipelines got hacked and many other similar kind of incidents in the region. And there was a Shamoon virus in some of the oil fields, and even nuclear field, there are kind of targeted viruses and all. So now the problem coming in oil and gas, because they are actually part of the critical infrastructure. At one point of time, if you remember in your earlier career, they were all completely disconnected and siloed. It's all there were no internet, no connectivity to the actual corporate network. But then slowly it become like, there are more and more connectivity and more somehow backend connection, and it is all become like a technology dependent kind of industry and organization. So the chances of getting it hacked is increased. Now oil and gas and OT security is a very specific field. All the principles of cybersecurity is same, but now even if I saw 2 days back or 3 days back in NEOM, again, it's not oil and gas, but it is actually critical national infrastructure. OT security, the head of OT cybersecurity. So there are new roles coming in the industry for, because the requirement to understand that domain and cybersecurity is crucial there. I think there was some questions or discussions I saw earlier, how cybersecurity evolved. That's a field now getting evolved because cybersecurity expertise and someone coming from a normal IT experience and cybersecurity will not be completely understanding the OT environment or in oil and gas. So combining those is important because a lot of vulnerabilities in that way, because there are dependency on big companies, big like what you call third parties is huge there, Siemens or Honeywell or those guys, and they themselves has to be and I see there are a lot of developments in their area where they are actually coming up with better secure kind of controls from them itself. But then again, security, what is key is that many security improvements you can bring by improving the process. Now who and how the, who managing, how is the connectivity? Someone by mistake connecting the whole OT network to IT network, which is exposed to internet where it is not required. So that has to be stopped. If it is required, yes, we can understand with right control. So a lot of process improvement can be done. And also people around that should be made aware that there are more and more security risks associated with oil and gas sector, and how to, kind of handle these systems in a better way. And some guys who may be connecting USP because it's a very kind of old system where USP ports are there. So, there are many things which you can restrict or reduce the risk by improving the process and improving the awareness. And then the technical controls, you need to be having that both cyber and industrial control systems, security measures combinedly applying to protect the the industrial systems.
Okay, next one is from Ranjit. Recently moved to Kuwait and wanted to change my career to cyber security. How to gain proficiency in cyber security?
So that is, I think we can have another session separate.
Okay.
Shankar, I think maybe the session we did for GCK, we could arrange, but it is actually a great field. I'll just quickly answer to the gentleman's interest. It's a great field. As I mentioned, anybody from any background, it is not only IT people can come in security, any background, including those who are in industrial system, OT system, or oil and field, they can all, because that business understanding and experience also is important. So I have actually hired someone who was working in India as a bank manager for 15 years. I think I explained this in GCK session. So he is actually now working in a bank as a head of cybersecurity, security and privacy. Within 3-4 years, because he has that industrial experience, he has the banking experience. So it was easy for me to help him to build the cybersecurity experience. So there are many courses and trainings, and even if that person can contact me, I can put him in a career group we manage, where it will guide him on cybersecurity careers, and he can get a lot of exposure in what to learn. We have a lot of mentorship programs. He can get in touch with me, no problem.
Okay, next question is from Kiran. What kind of permissions should we be giving to apps on our phone?
That is a very difficult question, because and again, security is about risk management. Now, if you want to use an app, it may have to have some access. Now, it depends upon what you want to expose and what you want to achieve from that app, and it is case by case. Unless it requires, so it should be, access is always like, our principle is that least privilege means, if the app you want to achieve something and that requires certain information, you may have to give. You want to achieve that, you may have to give access to that information or that access, nothing more, nothing less. Now, if an app, just a flashlight app, and then it is asking that I need to have access to all your contacts, you should not give it. Flashlight doesn't require your contact to light. It's not contact based lighting. So if an app like that, you are accessing that or asking for that kind of information access, you should not give. And especially, I think some of these Android apps are Android phones are more customizable, so more it can kind of damage. So you have to be very careful in what kind of access you're giving.
Okay, next one is from Suresh Kumar. How important is to install antivirus software in mobile phones? Any difference in Android and iPhones?
Yeah, so again, I'm not a I don't want to side with someone, but what we have seen in the industry is that iPhones are more close. So even if you click certain links and malware and or malicious links and all, it is less chance to get infected, because iPhone is rigid. You cannot make a lot of changes. So it is already it is protecting its operating system and environment from external parties intruding into. So so there is lesser chance to get it compromised normally. So now normally is normal. So there are abnormal things can happen. There could be many Pegasus kind of things that could be there, which can actually go in more deep. I don't want to touch upon that more, but again, it is not 100% secure and protected or not, but comparatively it is better. Now, endpoint security, I mean, more than antivirus, the concept is changing from antivirus to endpoint security, which is more than antivirus, only like many other features will be there. It is always better, and especially on Android phone, it is very strongly recommended. But you need to make sure you identify the right one and you spend some money, because security, you need to pay something. You cannot get everything free. So you may have to spend some money to get the right non-product. I don't want to name anything. You can check, do a kind of research on Google. But it is always better, even for iPhone or Android, to have an endpoint security software more to an Android phone than an iPhone.
Okay. Now, Snigdh Manoj Kumar wants to know, how secure do you think our password really are? What is the aim of using cookies on certain website? Can it be dangerous?
Yeah, see, passwords are as strong as the technology evolve. Nowadays, there are quantum computers and very high speed machines and processing power. So it can just randomly create and try to break in. So if a password is very weak, I mean, like, if you see some of these machines, I think there is a video I shared recently on LinkedIn about passwords. So passwords are always breakable. If it is long and complex and all, maybe it is, but passwords are to be a real headache for even myself to remember all these passwords. And so I'm also trying to find a way out of it. But always to have two-factor authentication, because the second factor is the one which is going to help you in most of the cases, because passwords, it is about someone targeting you. Someone wants to break, and someone wants to bring you down or attack you or harm you. That much effort, because there is an investment in password, breaking password. Now your password is password 123. Yeah, it's anybody can break in, and it's easy. Return on investment is very high. But your password is little more complex. Password, people will take some. If it is so much interesting, they'll put some effort. If it is not, like, maybe they will not put effort. And if you're an administrator, obviously it's more interest, because once you get the administrator password, then it's easy to get into the whole organization. So you have to think and balance that, but always try to use the two-factor authentication. The second question is, what was it?
Is it about cookies on certain website?
Yeah, cookies is actually, basically cookies are being used to understand you, like, you and your behavior. So they use for marketing. And now if we keep on going to a certain, actually cookies being misused also by some of this, I think, travel companies and all. When you are looking for certain tickets, certain sector, then you are looking on multiple, there is, I mean, not everyone, but some guys understand that this guy is planning to go to that sector, and then they will start increasing the price. So then similarly, there are many other use for a business to use cookies to customize the content and what to see, what is to be kind of the main screen you will get, and all. That is what some of the use of it. Now it is actually not a cyber security risk per se as a major risk, but privacy risk is there. So that is why now privacy regulations are coming up with cookies policy, because the site has to tell the visitor that they have these cookies, and they will be taking off this information from you, and they will ensure the protection of that and all those things, as wherever regulations are there on privacy. So but since it is being used to customize and have some value, it is a normal business practice, but at the same time it has to be used and avoid misuse by organization. From a security risk perspective, there are risks, because whenever there is an information collection and exchange, but at the same time, I think it is something which is an acceptable risk.
Okay, we have already crossed the time. Mr. Illyas, if you can spare another 5 to 10 minutes, we have 5 more questions, if you don't mind.
I'm fine. I mean, as far as your timelines.
Okay, right. Okay, we'll quickly go through that questions. What are the minimal cost-effective must-have security measures you suggest for small business? This question is from Fazla. Minimal cost-effective security measures for small business.
That is an excellent question, but very, very difficult to answer in such a short time. But it is based on a quick gap assessment of the organization. You need to understand what are they doing, and what are the risky area, how much they are online, what are the information, how many employees. But they don't have to spend or invest like a big banks, or they cannot have even maybe a information security team. They may not be having an IT team themselves probably. So how to balance that? To be frank, I'm not selling CyberShelter service, but that is an area where we are actually kind of targeting also small and medium business. how to give them a cost optimized cybersecurity solution without being investing a lot of money. So there are certain controls, mandatory. Again, it is based on the risk. Then certain controls can be implemented cost effectively and cheaper or economical solution. Certain things can be by reconfiguring their existing solution. Certain things can be by having the right processes, as I said, and also making awareness of the people. So SME security is what I understood or what I learned in last many years, that being completely unattended, and the security service providers and companies also focuses on bigger entities, and this is being like considered as a costly affair. So, and SMEs are actually trying to build their organization, so they cannot focus on security much. But nowadays, 2 days back, I was actually, as I mentioned earlier, I was discussing with an agro tech company who is in UAE, and they were not having any security. They don't have an IT person. They did not have a security, obviously. And they are actually doing with their proprietary IPs, intellectual property. They have some developed solution, and they are actually into some another sector of them is actually doing space and defense related development, and they don't have any security. And I was like, this is actually a very, very, very critical information what you have. You have to find out what are the key areas, as the question asked, and make sure that those areas are controlled, those areas are limited. So I would say the focus should be on data and access and external exposed areas. You have to ensure that right controls are there in external exposed areas, and you have to know what is your information and what kind of access are there, who's having access. All those areas should be focused.
Okay, next one is from Kiran Babu. From the media, we understand Pegasus can surpass all these cybersecurity issues. What are your comments?
No comments.
Bit sensitive. Okay. Okay, next one is from Firoz Pareed. What are the risks of using public Wi-Fi, especially at airports?
See, there is actually if a normal typical security guy will say, oh no, it is risky and don't use it and should not use it, but I use it, to be frank. So and we have to leverage thoughts, but then we have to be careful in what we are doing through that connection, because there are Wi-Fi kind of sniffing tools. And I think there are people buying it, and I saw in some of the malls, even some of the guys, they get it. It's not available regionally. It is not locally allowed to buy, but they get it from outside the countries and all. And these are actually can sniff whatever you are. I was actually not only airport. I mean, even some of the mall. I heard that there are people who were like using it to sniff some communication. So it is riskier in terms of if somebody is like targeting and somebody is very, very sensitive, and then you're doing a banking transaction and all, you must be very careful. I would say don't do it. But like normal browsing and stuff, although it can be sniffed, it's just a browsing just for news and other stuff. We can use, but unless you are really badly have to use it for certain critical transaction, not safe to use. But normal thing you could and again, as I said, security is about risk management. You cannot have zero risk in anything what we do. There is a risk, but we have to say, okay, we have to balance it and say, okay, I'm okay, and if something happened, there's nothing huge. But if I have my corporate machine, and someone can come to my machine and then they can reach to my corporate, I would say that you should not use it. You should be finding another secure solution for connecting to the internet.
Okay, next one is from Abdul Sagir. Facebook profile faking happens multiple times in spite of reporting on FB. Is it recommended to lock the profiles to stay out of the risk? Any tips to avoid this happening?
That is actually pretty good question. Locking, I don't know, locking also doesn't mean that they cannot create a fake profile. If they know about you or name, or even at least they can see the name, they can still create a fake profile. So what I was seeing in my organization earlier is that one of the time I have seen 500 fake profiles of our CEO in Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, 500 plus. So we had to take down. We had a service called takedown of those fake profiles. So locking is, I mean, getting the tick is something validation, but still, if someone falling, into that fake profile, it's always there is a chance. So if it is individuals, I don't know how much you want to, but for companies and all, like we have, for example, a service called this fake profile monitoring and takedown service. So we monitor their fake profiles, like, company executives, company web pages itself, any fake profile comes. We have continuous monitoring. Anything fake comes, sometimes what they do is they may have a lot of other profiles, and sudden one day they just change all of them to one company executives profile. So it will be like over the night. So then detection and removal of that is actually some kind of a process which we have to follow. The fake profile, it's like brand protection kind of service, including profiles, including website pages, mobile apps, all of their fake comes. But now the individual targeted ones, actually the problem is, I think you all must have been seeing, and I've seen here and in India, a lot of people posting that, my fake is come, and he's asking money, and I was getting also requests from some guys. So this is actually a very difficult thing to manage, in the sense it doesn't require any information other than knowing your name and your picture. Your picture is like will be there in, even if you lock your account, Google it, you will find your picture somewhere, in one of others post also. So if someone wants to target, or sometimes it may be known people, but as much as information, you ensure privacy and don't disclose your friends. So there are settings. I have it in my slides in appendix, but in Facebook, there are, or so, Instagram, there are places where you can put settings in terms of exposing your friends list, because once they know, friends list also is a more danger, because then they send to those friends as you. So that information you can hide. So there are many information you can hide in Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and all. So you have to make sure that those are being hidden from any external. Plus, take some time to review your friend list. There are many friends, you might be thinking someone, and then maybe you connected a long time back, and now you will find that the name itself is different and they are fraudster or something suspicious. So we have to be having that alertness to analyze the friend and see whether these are genuine or they are kind of fraudster. Like, some of our mutual connections and all, you will see that, okay, how this guy is connected to this. And sometimes it comes through mutual connection also. So you have to do a review of your friend list to clean it up and make sure any of your personal information is exposed, not to outside. And only, even friends, they should not be seeing something they don't have to see. Maybe your post you want them to see, but not everything else, not even about, because you're about, as I said, as I told about the case where the phone number was disclosed. Many people I can find out now, even who are here, phone number may be visible to friends and friends of friends and public. So that is actually dangerous to expose. So we have to make sure, those are cleaned up and controlled.
Okay, we will move on to the next question from Mr. Aravind Sindhwani. Is using fingerprint safer than password? What will happen if fingerprint is hacked? One can change password, but not fingerprint.
Yeah, fingerprint is better, because fingerprint hacking also is possible, in the sense not fingerprint itself, but fingerprint database from the backend. If that organization did not take enough measures to protect and use that fingerprint, and even I think some of these phones who uses fingerprint, earlier for a login, there were like kind of cases where they can kind of create a fake fingerprint of someone and use it and all. So there are weaknesses, but it's again, as I said, risk management. It's about risk reduction. So a fingerprint, if someone get and then they can misuse it, always that's a very good question, to be frank. There is a potential that it could be kind of misused for authentication purposes, where the fingerprint is there. But that is why actually multi-factor is required. So fingerprinting only is not the best way. Maybe you need to have another factor. That's why two-factor or multi-factor is now that is why even facial recognition system now, that is also it is a good measure, but then hacking or compromise of that facial database is again another risk. So the responsibility or accountability of organization who is maintaining this data is extremely important. But many organization misses that point, and not having that right controls of this database can be disastrous.
Okay, next question is from Mr. G. Sandosh Kumar. When we change security systems for personal laptop or PCs from one licensor to another, any precautions to be taken?
Can I just repeat again?
When we change security system for personal laptops from one licensor to another, any precautions to be taken? I think the question is about the security systems. Is it about the softwares or the
little confusing. One
is it
system to another system. Yes.
Is it about the operating system? I think it's about operating system.
Personal system. See, security measures. I'll tell in general. I mean, response to that question. Any changes can bring new security gaps. Any changes can change the security settings or configuration or control environment. So anything you are changing, altering or migrating, moving, you need to revalidate the controls. You need to ensure that the whole existing controls are there. That is actually, even if it is an individual or is a company, like in companies, if they're making changes, they're bringing new software, new hardware, deploying new PCs, deploying new servers, they have to make sure it goes through the security validation, verification, control checks, and right controls are there. It is not opening new holes. It is especially external. If it is external facing, even if it is external facing from your server or from the PC using internet and all, it has to be tightened, hardened, secured, because that could be the door of hackers or bad guys coming into your network. So any changes, any new things comes, has to have that right security measures in place.
Okay, well, I think that with that we have covered all the questions and we are running late, so we will try to wrap up. I now welcome Advocate Smita Manoj for presenting the vote of thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Shaji Madatil. Is my voice clear?
Yes.
Good evening to all present here. It has been quite a privilege to be a part of this informative session, really. First and foremost, I would solemnly like to express gratitude from my side and on behalf of PPF to our chief guest, Mr. Illyas Kooliyankal, who has made time in his tight schedule to present this intriguing session, which is a relevant matter in this modern world. I would like to call this really a deluge of information. We much appreciate your time, Mr. Illyas. Further on, I am extending our appreciation to all audience members and non-members of PPF for attending this seminar and making this evening interactive one. Special recognition to all office barriers and PPF members who have worked behind this session, making it as a grand success. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening and be vigilant with your cyber activities, as Mr. Illyas mentioned. Thank you all.
Thank you, Smita.
Thank you.
With this, we will conclude this webinar. Once again, thank you very much for being with us today. And until we meet again, bye.